Hey, it's Greg Grunberg, Snap Wexley, and you are listening to 6th Scale Scavengers.
All right, Scavengers, welcome to episode 72, a special Tuesday night 6th Scale Scavengers episode. May the 4th be with you. We're the 6th Scale Scavengers. What is it? Revenge of the 5th, whatever. Tomorrow. We got it all covered here, all the numbers, all the time here. So we have got like so much to cover. We're just gonna cut through the formalities here for the most part and get to it, because not only do we have a normal full news day slate, whatever you want to call this, since the last time we broadcasted, and Hot Toys dropped like 5 more figures on us today for Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So we're going to cover that as well. So we'll cover the regular news. We are going to do a quick collection update, and then we'll get into all the stuff late last night into this morning. So I'm your host, Bryan Fontaine, joined as always with my good friends Chris, Letty, and TC, and we've got a foursome tonight. We've got our good friend and 6th Scale Scavengers moderator, Sean, Yutzi, Yuzelby, Yitzby, whatever you go by.
Anything works.
Anything works. Hey you guys.
Hey you guys.
So no, we're glad to have you on, making your 6th Scale Scavengers debut, Sean. You help us a lot with managing our Facebook group, but then also just being active in the streams and well known in the collecting community as well. Big part of Collecting Weekly. And oh, by the way, tune in after our show tonight. Hop on Collecting Weekly. They're going to be streaming probably right after we get done. So shout out to Zach and Dean and the guys. So Sean, longtime collector, the co-founder with Roy of the BCC, the big collection collector.
Make sure I get my acronyms correct. Yes.
Could have those big collections because the three of us are selling like crazy. So
yeah,
right.
Yeah, been collector all my life. Yeah, it started Hot Toys probably 5 or 6 years ago, and really haven't looked back. So glad to be here.
Awesome. We are glad to have you guys. So it is unofficially the Star Wars holiday, Chris. I think we did this last year. I don't know if we've done it the 2 years prior that actually probably we weren't actually broadcasting at that point.
Did we have Roy on last year?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we did. We try to get as many people on tonight, but it's just hard. It's a tough time of night.
Different time zones.
And we certainly didn't want to wait one extra night to cover this stuff, because I'm sure they would have dropped like another 5 things on us tonight, TC. So
I can't take it. Too much.
I know, for sure. Before we get into the news here, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our friend Ray at Underground Figures. Thank you, Ray, for featuring 6th Scale Scavengers in our YouTube channel and your May newsletter. Much appreciated. Mutual respect there as well. One of my go-tos for our ordering Hot Toys, and you can't beat the prices. And Ray's got just top-notch customer service when it comes to shipping things minty fresh, very timely. And he's a fellow New Englander down in Rhode Island there. So definitely check out Underground Figures. If you haven't already, we mentioned them probably at least once a show, but definitely thank Roy. So a couple other people to thank. Shout out to Atlas. Don't worry about missing the last stream, my friend. But we are also pumped for today's episode. So thank you for your donation. We certainly appreciate it. And then Andrew. Man, Andrew is the man.
Yeah.
Consistently helping out every show and great part of the community. We also agree with your enthusiasm here. There's just so much hype tonight. We're going to try to cover it in the best way that we can with the 6-scale Scavenger spin here. And we're looking forward to a good show. News. 1, 2, 3, 4 figures that don't even count for what we talked about dropping from Star Wars Day here. So let's get to it. TC.
Why me?
I just felt like picking on you first because you haven't had a chance to speak yet. So, Tony Stark team suit from Avengers Endgame, MMS 537 with an original retail price of $235, announced back just after Avengers Endgame was released in movie theaters on May 9th, 2019. 714 days later, on April 22nd, we finally got the figure we never thought we were going to get. We also thought we were going to get everybody, Cap and everybody else included. We've got the figure. TC, I mean, I don't know if the wait was worth it, but I think it ended up a little bit better than expected. I mean, the head sculpt, I think, is the redone one from the replacement 85 head sculpt you could get. So this, I mean, nothing spectacular here, but I mean, it looks solid.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not.
I mean, it's Tony Stark on Star Wars Day. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's a fine figure. It just, you have nothing to pair it up with. Unfortunately, you get the old Mark 50 head sculpt. It's right now. It's Star Wars time. You hear my dog back there, but it's Star Wars time, and this is kind of just, it's kind of like Hot Toys just moving. It's just trying to get it done. That's just kind of what it feels like. He's looking on the screen here. He's got his fist pump out, but there's no one to fist pump with. But
air fist pump there.
Yeah, if you got a Tony Stark collection, Iron Man collection, I'm sure add it. But for me, I'm not going to consider it.
Chris?
Yeah. So this is one, man, it was right at the hype, right after Endgame. I ordered it and, months later canceled it when we realized we weren't going to get the rest of the team. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Hot Toys, again, it's like a broken record. They produced a really good figure here, a little bit lackluster. No, I mean, I don't think there was a very small population of the community, clamoring for this one, but, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do the whole team, just buy whatever 8 of these guys and just buy head sculpts and then you could, go crazy. But, yeah, just kind of, if you're a Tony Stark fan, if you're an Iron Man fan, collector, this is definitely gives you an alternative look for sure. But really one that I don't think it's going to have too much desirability long term.
Sean, did you're one of the founding members of the Big Collection Coalition here. Is this one going to be added to your collection here?
So I'm already breaking the rules, and no, I will not be picking this one up. This is the world's most okayest figure.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, if they would have came out with the whole team, I probably would have been in on it. But as it stands now, you can make, all the male figures from it. But if you wanted to have a Black Widow or a War Machine or anything like that, to go with it, to complete the whole team, you couldn't do it with this one figure. So yeah, this will be a rare pass for me.
Shocker.
That accessory, though, just real quick, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The helmet.
The helmet is, I definitely want to try and find that on Monkey Depot or Toy Anxiety or something like that when they part it out.
All right. And I'm only just stalling here, guys, so I can get up the next photos here. So, Chris.
Yeah.
You and I, and like many others, Return of the Jedi is one of our favorite Star Wars movies. Endor specifically. This obviously is not from Endor nor Return of the Jedi, but the Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike from the Mandalorian, TMS 16 and TMS 17, going for the Scout Trooper itself, going for $220. The whole kit and caboodle here, $455 for the Scout Trooper and the bike, with the white deco, not the green, and on Endor there.
Mm-hmm.
Announced April 23rd, 2020. We got it on April 26th, 2021. So just 368 days, literally 3 days over a year. My math is good. I went to public education schools. And, obviously it was right online. I mean, we kept expecting this to come out because it was one of the oldest Star Wars figures still not to be released, not to be outdone by a figure we'll talk about in a little bit, and one that hasn't been released yet. But, I mean, this thing looks top notch. I mean, I'm not personally adding it to myself just because I don't have the space to display the speeder bike without sacrificing a lot of other shelf space here. But Chris, I mean, this came out really well.
Oh yeah, this is top notch. Hot Toys Star Wars set right here. I've always loved the Biker Scout look. It's one of my favorite trooper designs. Even though it does look like he's wearing a diaper, but
It all
It's not that
depends.
bad. It's not that bad.
It all depends.
no, I know. No, I just love this. I mean, it's so much nostalgia for the speeder bike. It's just so Star Wars, and to see it in like a different iteration in Mandalorian was great. And I mean, the set gives you so many options. Obviously, you can pair it with IG-11 and and Grogu in his bag.
Glad somebody picked up on my dad joke.
I know, right? I just think this is a great set, and we say it every time. It leads us to believe that down the road we'll get a Return of the Jedi set. And so I love it. I've got the set on order from Underground Figures. There was a time when I was considering getting a separate Scout Trooper, but I'm glad I didn't, just because we've just got so much stuff coming. But I don't know, you can't go wrong with this set.
Sean, you must be adding this one though.
I have two of these on order, in fact.
Whoa, that's the big collection.
Yeah. I had to definitely wanted one with the Scout Trooper, and then the other one with IG-11 because it just looks phenomenal. Definitely had to order this. I wanted the Scout Trooper, almost got it several times, but I just can't spend that amount of money for a sideshow figure. So I'm glad Hot Toys is doing it, and they seem to be doing it justice. So
Yeah, and I was watching Justin's collection, his review, and it looks like you can put the IG-11 onto the bike.
Yep.
Pretty easily. So to me, that's awesome, because like you said, Chris, it gives you a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
You can really, just get the set IG-11. You can take your Scout Trooper off the bike, put IG-11 on the bike. You got yourself a great look. And this is a home run, 10 out of 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll probably have some FOMO over this one, but sometimes you just remember that, Hot Toys can really knock it out of the park. And I mean, to be honest, the fact that you get a Scout Trooper and a speeder bike with the Grogu figure, I mean, it's all just a bonus here. So, I mean, can you say no to that face? I mean,
Oh my god, it's so awesome.
I don't know, for one reason or another, I always see this face, and for some reason, I always think of our buddy Mark Pearson, because he was I think when this figure was originally announced, he was trying to be all responsible and try to have a budget and stuff, and then he finally was just like, nope, screw the budget.
Yeah, it's a tough one to say to bring in the budget. Yeah, do it for Tony Stark.
Yeah, save money in the quantum suit.
Yeah.
All right. We are trying to move along as quickly as possible because there's just so much to cover tonight. So, TC, Captain America, not the Falcon, And finally, in the end credits, spoiler alert, the show title changes to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We've got Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, straight out of the comic books. I mean, if there was ever a costume that the MCU has done that went right from page to screen, it's probably this. And I mean, they just did a phenomenal job here. TC announced right after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, the miniseries wrapped up, the 6 episodes. TMS 40 for the television masterpiece series. The retail price on this is going to be $375, given what his Falcon figure from Civil War goes for on the second market. This seems like a steal, and the wings look much better. This was announced April 29th, and we are looking at an estimate of Q3 to Q4 2022 for this one. TC, just you have to marvel, pun intended here, at some of the engineering that they've been able to do and the improvements that they've made over the 2 other iterations they've done of Falcon and his wings.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, that the head sculpt's probably a little better than the Civil War version, but those wings, the articulation on the wings and the ability to pose it in a way where you can do so without taking up an entire shelf, but also you get the wings with the feathers basically, and that's pretty cool. I'm sorry again with my dog, but
your dog really likes Captain America.
I know.
Yeah, we're on a different night. We're different schedule tonight, so she's not as calm because Anne's home. But anyway, very cool figure. This is. I've not ordered it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to wait it out, play the long game. But like, if there's ever like a figure Hot Toys nailed from screen to figure form, as good as that Scout Trooper is, like, the amount of work that it takes to create this figure is just, it's got to be tenfold what it is for a Scout Trooper, and they nailed it. And so got to give them credit.
Yeah. Sean, thoughts on this one?
Oh, it's fantastic. I have the Civil War one, and it's awesome. These wings are definitely way better. So I'm super looking forward to it. The costume's awesome. And definitely Disney took the time, to if you looked at the little making of, featurette that they had after the last episode of this, they showed how they digitally altered the costume in the show to make it, so it doesn't puff out when he moves his head, so it looks comic book accurate in the show, and then that obviously translates into figure form. So definitely awesome. Definitely coming into my collection whenever it gets released, for sure.
Now, Chris, your buddy GC Hong,
Yeah.
liking all your Instagram posts. I mean, I'm trying to get a good shot of. Well, I might as well just go to the main shot here.
Yeah.
Head sculpt wise here, Chris. Anthony Mackie to a T here. Sam Wilson, our friend Sean mentioned on set that Anthony Mackie referred to himself as the chocolate missile, which I think is just absolutely hilarious. But all things considered, there's just so many great moments from this series that I think Sam's speech at the very end. That for me is maybe not a top 5 moment in the MCU, but a top 10. I mean, he just became Cap in that moment. So, this is just a phenomenal offering here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this figure is unbelievable. The head sculpt is insane. It is just so amazing what they can do with the 6 scale. With a 6 scale figure. They on Instagram, JC Hong and I think her name is Yunsun Kim or something. I apologize. But those pictures of his head sculpt, I'm like speechless with this figure. I can't believe how good they knocked it out of the park. And you guys said everything from comic book to screen. I mean, this figure is on point. The wings, the articulation, the detail, the tailoring, the fit. I mean, everything is there. This is, one of the best figures, in my opinion, that Hot Toys has ever done for Marvel. And you know, I the Civil War one was really cool. It was a very different figure. This one, I mean, I don't have any regrets selling it. This one definitely, like TC, I'm not locking this one in, playing the long game, doing that more so with Marvel going forward. But yeah, I would love to have this in my collection someday.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, I don't think any of us mentioned it yet before we move to the next one, is it does look like they've allowed for some articulation in the suit instead of it being all kind of like one piece and being very difficult to maneuver around, especially when you're going to want to show off this figure in flight poses. Is it does look like the shoulder gussets, there's some articulation there. Also looks like his upper torso and bottom torso there's a split on the suit there too. So, and they actually were able to pull off the screen accuracy of that. I mean, that's one reason why you don't see that all that often with what Hot Toys does, but maybe they're learning, trying new techniques, and we'll see if this is something that they can, do going forward and still get the screen accuracy that we look for, in these products that we buy. They look great on our shelves, but to be able to, make it get into poses and stuff that you'll want. I mean, I'm not a photographer. Not many of us are. I know Roy is pretty snappy at it. I'm just, you guys have said it all. This is a showstopper for me. I think this is one of the best ones, at least a prototype that we've looked at in quite a long time of doing this show through 72 episodes.
Yeah, that was we knew it was coming. I was wondering if they were gonna do two different versions of Falcon, but I'm glad they went straight to the Captain America version.
So, Sean, speaking of figures that we didn't see coming, Kylo Ren from The Rise of Skywalker, 526 days later, announced November 21st, 2019, before The Rise of Skywalker hit movie theaters, about a month before. This thing had a long time to come out. More so than originally was projected. We were supposed to get this Q2 to Q3. Actually, no, that's already been that's out it. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to come out late last year, and whether it was due to COVID or whatnot, but this got delayed. I think a lot of people slept on this one, Sean, just because A, the movie wasn't everyone's favorite. B, a lot of Star Wars fans in general, they don't necessarily hate the sequels, but they aren't like their favorite films. And then, there's just a lot of things that were working against this figure, and the fact that we'd already gotten the helmeted version from The Force Awakens and a very similar figure to this from The Last Jedi that still does really well in the secondary market. This thing turned out awesome, Sean. I think.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I had not originally intended to order this figure. I had, the previous one that was good enough for me, but then when I saw the final pictures come out with the updated head sculpt and everything, it's freaking awesome. So definitely ordered this one when the final pictures came out. It's killer. Definitely.
Yeah. This one was one that, man, I had the Last Jedi one. Good figure, but sold that when that figure was pretty hot in the aftermarket. But this figure, Hot Toys going back to the drawing board with the head sculpt, huge improvement over the prototype, and all the extra details that they put into this figure. Again, just fine tuning what they had previously done. I think put this figure over the top, and a great way to, a great last figure for Kylo Ren, in the line. But yeah, not one I have on order. I actually don't have any more sequel trilogy figures, but if for some reason I get an itch, to have some representation there, I can see adding this guy, and I'm really curious to see what the Rey is going to look like as well, because I do like that figure, but just looking to see if they tweaked a few things. But yeah, great figure.
Now TC, we don't know if this was delayed due to the fact if they went back and redid the head sculpt, but to my untrained eye, this head sculpt looks very different than the prototype, and looks much more like Adam Driver does than the prototype.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I think Hot Toys is like reaching this level of like ultra HD, 4K, 8K in their figures. It's becoming something almost absurd. I mean, this is really, really good work by them. And yeah, I would have no issues if I had one or both of the old ones and you wanted to recoup some funds to go with this one. I would definitely do that. And yeah, this is a 2021 figure. Very good.
This is one that I actually had survived my pre-order purge. I've still got this. I have this and the Rey still on the way. I wanted to at least have some figures from the sequel. I mean, I've got a couple of the Luke figures still, the Hobo Luke and Crate Luke, along with my TFA R2D2. But I think it's hard to say anything really bad about this. I mean, and putting it side by side, with the Last Jedi one, there probably is a lot of similarities there. But I mean, this head sculpt is far and above, way better. And personally, I think the reforged helmet with the red going through it looks far better than it ever did. That could have been the original look they went for, and he would have been even more menacing. I mean, yeah. he was pretty terrifying for a villain when you first saw The Force Awakens, just because he was so unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think adding that bit of red to the helmet just adds just a little bit, a little touch there, just to make it pop. When you're dealing with an all black figure, it's the little details that you want it to stick out. I'm just curious. I haven't watched any reviews on this figure. I'm wondering if the posability is similar to the Last Jedi one. The boots were definitely restrictive. I had a hard time posing mine. These ones look pretty similar, but well detailed boots, but you lose that posability.
Just look at on screen here. This tells you everything you need to see with the head sculpt. I mean, this is, I would imagine there's a lot of people that did not have this in their plans, and I'm already seeing some in the chat wondering if they should sneak this one in. Again, disclaimer: we're not here to get people to buy more Hot Toys. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about our love for these and the ones that we are planning to get ourselves. Don't just go get this just because it turned out well. Because if you don't have a plan for this figure, it's going to be one that you'll eventually sell. Trust me, Chris and I know from experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough. Actually, it's tough to separate that because, like, we call it how we see it, and this figure looks amazing. But like you said, Bryan, if it doesn't fit your plan, you're just going to want the next figure that comes along instead, and you're going to end up selling it. So I do that a lot too.
Wow, I can't keep that. This definitely is one of the ones I did not expect to kind of wow me in this way, and this definitely did.
Yeah, it could be a contender, towards the end of the year.
If we're thinking like end of the year awards at this point, I mean, it's probably at least in the top 10. Head sculpt,
at least is right up there.
Yeah.
We were going to talk originally about the teaser that we had about the Bad Batch figures that Hot Toys was going to do, but we actually have a Bad Batch figure to talk about in a little bit. You guys are very in tune to like what's going on. Have you guys seen anything crazy going on about either? I think there was some controversy regarding Endgame Captain America and it being either waitlisted and then it's back to pre-order. And it seems like Sideshow's been playing some of these games lately to get people to act when they might be more willing to wait. It's kind of it's hard to make of what they try to do with their inventory.
I know it was a whole joke in the 6 Sale Scavengers Facebook group. They're like, Hidalgo's, Johnny on the spot, telling everybody, oh, Captain America's, got the countdown when you check out, and then, oh, it's, waitlisted, and then 5 minutes later it's pre-orders back on, and I don't know. It's funny. Like, I think that was happening with IG-11 too.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's intentional. We'll never know. But yeah, it's just a weird, maybe Sideshow's processing program for their checkout is flawed or something, but seems a little bit too convenient there.
Yeah, I'd agree. Seems to happen all too often for all these figures, and yeah, in the same exact way. So
Yep.
All right. Am I missing anything in the chat?
No,
here?
Andrew was just saying that he emailed Sideshow about Endgame Cap, and their response was to cancel if he was dissatisfied. So, yeah.
What do you mean cancel if dissatisfied?
I think he was, because he was just asking if, when he was going to get it, and because it was delayed and stuff, but
yeah.
All right. Collection update. Moving along, so we give plenty of time to talk about these May the 4th be with you releases here. So, again, why people find this entertaining, I do not know. And I'm looking at what we've got here, and I definitely do not think that they're going to find this entertaining. Spoiler alert, but
this is a pretty weak.
Yeah, it's all right. We've been a lot more tame. We're kind of in other collecting avenues at this point, but we'll save that for a whole nother podcast that we might need to start at some point here. But anyway, so Sean, you are our guest here. Anything that you picked up in the last few weeks?
Yeah, actually, a few things, as it should no one be surprised. So in this week, I got Heavy Mando from Sideshow, finally.
Yes.
I also got in the Astonishing Cyclops limited edition they did. Normally, I wouldn't have picked that up, but in the description it said to go with the Astonishing Wolverine they're going to be doing down the road. So my son's name is Logan, so I see it, I buy it. I had to have a companion piece to go with them.
Yeah,
also, I paid off the Fiend. That's that third-party Green Goblin figure from Toys R Us. So I paid that off, so that should be here soon. I got that from Comic Concepts. Additionally, I got some Mezco figures, but we won't go there on this podcast. So for pre-order, I pre-ordered some of the things that we'll talk about later. I'll save that for when we get there. Additionally, Kylo Ren and the Falcon, which we already talked about. So
nice.
That's really it. The past
pretty
couple
healthy.
weeks.
And I mean, there's no way in heck that you're going to have anything you actually had going out the door. So,
Well, I'm trying to sell a couple figures, but working some deals. So yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
All right, cool. All right, Chris, why don't you go next?
All right. Well, I got no 6 scale stuff. Other than the fact that I sold my Punisher that I was talking about last episode, did finally sell that on eBay. I definitely missed the peak of the market on that figure. But yeah, great figure. Just didn't fit into my plans going forward. It was tough to let it go. I know a bunch of scavengers were sad to see me sell it, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta move on from a figure. Couple things. I was actually lucky enough to win a prize pack from Outer Rim merch on Instagram and Etsy. I was pretty excited about that. It was a whole bunch of Ahsoka items, Luke items, pins, patches, stickers. He did like a 3D bust of Ahsoka. So that was part of the pack. So that was pretty neat. So definitely check out his page. He's got a really cool Captain Rex button up short sleeve shirt I was looking at, but yeah, good stuff. And then also Sean Sean actually got this too. Matsumoto Art on Instagram. I picked up this really nice Ahsoka print. One of the best images I've seen in a long time, and great price and great size too. And he said it's going to have some companion pieces. So definitely check out his. And actually, he wrote me a note. And he said, "Yeah, I watch your." He's like, "I've listened to your podcast and stuff before." I'm like, "What?" So random, but hey, I'll take it. And then last thing, I mean, to nobody's surprise, I pre-ordered the Sideshow premium format exclusive Ahsoka from Rebels with Morai. Spider Ahsoka.
Spider Ahsoka.
Spider Soka.
Yep.
I don't know why she's doing the web twip or whatever you want to call it.
She's doing her force push.
With, yeah. Sideshow makes some.
She's got to hold her lightsaber, and then she's doing her force push too. So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Andrew, yeah, man, you were all about it this morning.
Of course, I've got 4 premium format statues.
Yeah, you can't give me any grief.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, they just make some really questionable pose decisions sometimes.
I mean, look at some of the what is it, the Emperor, and some of those other ones. I don't know.
Wait, did you say you got the exclusive?
Yeah, I got the exclusive, but
yeah,
I screwed up and ordered the collector's edition first, and I was like freaking out. So Sideshow's help chat was right on it, and they helped me out. But
I don't even know why they offer both.
I know.
It's $20 difference.
Stupid
off a $550.
It's just a way to have a different edition size on it. That's all.
I guess so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'm not giving you grief, Chris, about the statue. I'm just more giving Sideshow grief about the Spider Ahsoka look. So
yeah, definitely some questionable design choices there. But I like the style of the figure, the way they sculpted her face and everything. I think all that stuff looks really good, and had to have at least one quarter sale.
Did you see this, Chris? I didn't know this from Metamorphic here. I didn't know that there was going to be a Vader that went with it.
Ooh, damn it! I just said this is my only quarter scale statue.
I did not know that either. So
problems
in
paradise.
Slippery slope.
BCC.
Yeah, slippery slope.
I got 2 premium formats, so it's good.
Yeah, we won't give you grief about that. It's just more Sideshow being Sideshow.
Yeah.
TC, I know you've been laying back a little bit. Anything at all in the last 2 weeks?
No sales, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
No sales, no buys, but I did break out Winnie the Pooh, and you can see him behind me on my shelf.
Nice.
With the shades, the Maui Jims. So
looking good.
Yeah. So nothing for me. Pretty calm 2 weeks, and probably just going to continue that way for a while.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right.
I do see a really nice comic book behind you there.
I decided to display that. Yeah, that's a special one. Yeah, it's the Clone Wars one in a 9.8. So have that one up for display now. Since I cleared out some of the Hot Toys, I'm able to put that one on the shelf as with Yoda right there as well. So
very nice.
I love that comic. That's probably my favorite cover art of any comic book out there.
Mm-hmm. It's the hottest comic out there for Star Wars. So,
all right, I'll go last. I did. I actually, like Sean, I did pre-order one of the figures that we're going to talk about. Shocker. So I'll talk about that when we get to it, just to save the suspense a little bit. So last time out, I mentioned I was selling my Wonder Woman comic concept figure on eBay. I thought I had it sold. I sent it out best offer. Somebody accepted almost immediately, and then proceeded to ghost me for over a week. And I ended up having to put the claim in. So that actually expired today. I got it relisted, and somebody sent me an offer, accepted, and at least this person said that they're going to pay tomorrow. So whether they do or not, I don't know. But as long as I don't have to wait 7 days to resolve that, it'll be a plus. And then I was talking to Sean about this earlier today. I'm not sure that I'm going to go through with the Batman. sub collection that I wanted. I do have the Batman figure from Batman versus Superman. I think it's MMS 342. I've got that. I bought it brand new. I opened it to inspect it, but I haven't displayed it. And I was just like, geez, Gare's probably going to give me grief for this because was talking Batman with him over the last couple months. And I'm just not sure it's going to be there. So I've kind of priced it on eBay to the point where, I'll recoup back what I paid, but I don't know if anyone's going to go for it. So it'll at least give me some time to think about if I really want to go through with it or not. But there's just so much Star Wars heat, as the young guys stay, on the way here. Got to get all those scoops. And
there's no way you go through the Batman thing.
I don't. It was the Batmobile. I mean, we talked about this with Sean. It's like that. It's so enticing to have that dang Batmobile. And then at one thing led to another. It's just like, I don't know.
Here's the problem with the Batmobile, though. It's just like the movies. It's a great trilogy. Awesome trilogy. Then there's nothing else. So you have all these other figures, Hot Toys releases, and they build and build and build and build. But they release the Nolan figures, and that's it. So it's kind of like, I don't know. If you're talking about collecting on like a continuous basis,
yeah,
and trying to build off of your past purchase, it seems like it's a little bit static versus dynamic of Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's where I've kind of ultimately landed, and I think that's probably where I'll go going forward. And just as much I'd love to have, a good chunk of MCU figures, I've kind of got all of the die-cast Iron Man armors. I think I'll probably just rest my laurels, on that a little bit and see where it goes. I could never sell any of those because my son would disown me, but that's such is life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel like this is news 2.0.
Yeah, right. I know we've never done this kind of format.
Yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, just the way that the show fell and the weeks fell, like we probably would have done a special episode just for these 5 announcements, and then some other sneak peeks that we'll also talk about here. So obviously we're going to geek out about this stuff. We've got the photos to go through. All of these are up for pre-order, so we do have some of the stats and the prices and stuff. We'll kind of go through that. Basically, what we'll do for the topic here is, basically just cover these as a second news round, and we'll get geeked out and excited, and we'll probably all end up pre-ordering all of these before the end of the show here. So, up first, Stormtrooper Commander. This is going to be a Sideshow Hot Toys exclusive, so you're going to have to get it from Sideshow. Gives us an opportunity to get a Stormtrooper in our collection. You've got the E22 blaster that is infamous for the Shore Trooper. You've got an orange pauldron that you can use with this. You could army build this, Sean, if you wanted to. You could get a bunch of these, get an E11 to go with it. You have one that doesn't have the pauldron on here. I mean, at $220, it's a little bit more than some of the other Stormtroopers have gone. I think the base Stormtrooper from Return of the Jedi was just under $200. So this one's a little bit more, but you get a little bit more with it. We're looking at the end of this year. Actually, Sideshow's saying between October and December. For all intents and purposes, it's a glorified reissue, which doesn't surprise me that it being a Hot Toys exclusive here. But yeah, I mean, a pretty nice addition here, Sean.
Yeah, this is one that I definitely picked up. I love troopers, so I see Trooper, I buy Trooper. I already do have the orange pauldron one that I actually got from you a long time ago in the 2-pack. So I already have one, but the more the merrier. I love the look. I love the pop of color, as well as the, when you probably go a couple pictures, the other one that they're gonna tease. But yeah, it's a great figure. Love it. Glad people are able to get that orange pauldron. Trooper. I know a lot of my friends have been looking for one and holding out due to the price. So glad to see people could get it. And yeah, there we go.
Chris, it does look like there's another sneak peek here. This is one that we talked about months ago when they showed us the cost baby of the mortar trooper or the bomber trooper, whatever they're calling it, with the orange mustard here.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, it was really early on. I think there was, even before the show started.
It's like a cardboard cutout that was thrown around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, that's going to be a Hot Toys figure. And everybody was waiting all season for it. And then once we saw it, we're like, oh, it's going to release this week. And it didn't. But yeah, I mean, this Commander here, a great figure as far as, Star Wars troopers, variations of troopers. I mean, that's what collecting is all about here. You can just mix and match and add to a scene. I'm on the fence. I would like, this figure, but definitely got to pick battles here. Great accessory with the different gun and that sort of thing. But again, Stormtrooper sell, and it's great to have this one, being exclusive. It gives a little bit something more unique, and I'm sure we're going to see the regular Stormtrooper and this Mortar Trooper in due time. So you're going to have plenty of troopers to choose from in the Mando line. But yeah, solid figure.
Well, TC, along with what Chris just said, do you think we'll actually get another Stormtrooper, or do you think they're just going to, assume people will get this and then, either take the pauldron off or whatnot?
No, we'll get one. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear in these pictures they're gonna release another one, and it's just really cool to see kind of what Hot Toys does, how they've improved Stormtroopers over the years. It's not in your face with the improvements. It's very subtle, but there are definitely things they do better now. I like the shoulder pad, the way they attach the shoulders to the arms, and then the weathering's better, and the undersuit's probably better than before. So yeah, this is a great one. If you missed out on Rogue One or got it, sold it, now you can get the orange pauldron one, and again another solid figure in the Mandalorian line. Nothing super special, but yeah, quality.
Yeah, fill out your display. One thing I was going to say about troopers is, like, if you're going to order from Sideshow and you plan on ordering multiples, definitely order them in the same order. That way you can save on your combined shipping, and it'll definitely help in the long run. I mean, other retailers, you might not have to pay shipping and stuff. So just one of those little notes, because again, Sideshow does not combine different orders. You can't if your figures are shipping out from different orders at the same time, you can't stick them in the same box. So
Echo.
Yeah.
Bad Batch. So we won't spoil anything. And actually, the fact that the premiere episode obviously dropped today on Disney Plus, it being 70 minutes long, I haven't had a chance to catch this. I'm hoping before I fall asleep tonight that I might get a chance to check this out. But, Chris and I and everybody else here are a bunch of old men. So more likely than not, I'll probably just pass out after the show's done. TC, I don't want to get too excited about the Bad Batch figures without seeing the series first. However, I love the character of Echo, especially from up to season 3 in the Clone Wars. I would have loved to see him as an ARC trooper, but the fact that we got him in this version, they're already doing Clone Wars figures. I think at some point we'll get another Echo, and I'd love Echo in 5s and Hot Toys form. Mm-hmm. And here I am being greedy, talking about the things that I want when we've actually got a pretty good figure.
Like one of those people on Facebook.
Yeah. I am one of those people on Facebook.
What about that?
What about Padme? What about
exactly?
What about Poe?
all joking aside, there, appreciating what we do have in front of us here. TC is a well-engineered figure.
Yeah, and it looks good. And I don't know anything about it. I actually haven't even gotten far enough into Clone Wars to know anything about the Bad Batch or Rebels. So who's the one standing next to Echo?
That's Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool figure.
Yeah. You'll when you get a chance to ever get back to it, I think you'll like it. But I mean, from an engineering perspective, I mean, it looks like we've got a lot of reusability from what they've done with obviously with Cody and the unreleased Rex at this point. But this thing just looks so badass. I can't get over the whole, right arm, like the little R2D2, jack thing on his hand. Still, that's still not. I can't. Still struggling with that design choice, but it is what it is. But I mean, Chris.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, like obviously we got the teaser a few days ago. We had inklings that we were going to get figures for this. We had seen Bad Batch supported in other lines like Black Series and such. So naturally, Star Wars, Disney, was going to get Hot Toys to make some of these figures. And man, you want something different that is just a killer design. I mean, this is it. You've got the Clone Troopers had so many variations, and now with a Bad Batch, this darker look with the red and black, amazing detail with the weathering, all the different gadgets and mechanisms and switch out arms and stuff. This is just, oh man, I love this figure. I love the helmet design. His head sculpt is really creepy looking in real life depiction of him, but I think it's got just enough of that Tim Morrison look that it, you can see it in there. But yeah, this is a figure. I mean, I've got to watch the series to know if I really want this. I mean, just from a cool factor, I want this figure. But yeah, I think Hot Toys is doing something great here, and clones. I mean, we're just going to keep getting them, and I hope we get the whole crew for these guys. And if that's successful,
hold on, Chris, we've got a code drop. Do or do not,
and it's a $5 code.
Whoa.
$5.
Okay.
Stop the show immediately.
Stop. Got it.
Awesome. We got Gorija 431. Thank you, my friend. That was a very welcome.
Yes.
Obviously, when we're live here, we're not checking out our Facebook group. Hidalgo and Shane and a couple other names are escaping me. There's just
Andrew, they're all over it.
The regulars certainly appreciate them helping out the community.
Appreciate that, guys. Yeah. So just hopefully everybody can get that. Yeah, every couple bucks out helps. $5, whatever. We'll take it. Hot Toys wants to give it out. But yeah, this is a sign of good things to come from Hot Toys. And I mean, everybody is joking about their wallets hurting because, I mean, how many of us can pass up badass, like Bryan said, badass looking figures?
Is that the Hunter too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So Sean, we've heard some rumors and murmurs and stuff, and we hear some things, and we hardly ever talk about it on the show for various different reasons. But the fact that we've got Echo here, we've seen Hunter. We'll show there's a sneak preview of from the Sideshow site because I can speak English. That will show. I mean, the one thing I think that would stop a lot of people from maybe potentially collecting these is if we get 2, 3 out of the 5.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the fact that, there's some differences here. And I mean, Wrecker obviously was one of my faves from season 7 of Clone Wars. Would be an entirely different body type for these. But for the most part, there's kind of a repaint aspect to this. I think there's a chance that we may actually get a full squad for the first time ever in Hot Toys form there, Sean.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely one of these kind that I mean, I guess there's a lot that, if you get one, you need them all. But this one probably more so just because they are so different, which is strange because they're clones, but the armor is different. And yeah, I can't wait for Wrecker. You are right that one would be the only kind of outlier due to his size and all that stuff. But yeah, this one, as the shirt says, was a dopo as well, because I need this in my collection. I don't know, I'm sure the show is going to be good. I have faith, but just their appearance in Clone Wars season 7 was enough to seal the deal that I need this stuff. So yeah,
Hopefully you get all of them.
Yeah,
hopefully you get all of them, because like if you're gonna if 4 of them are the same body, if there's a lot of reuse or almost reuse, then hopefully they could spend the money to develop a new figure for Wrecker.
Yep.
Yep.
Chris, I think there's the chance that this is. I guess I've just snake bitten in the past. I think I want to be patient on this one. I don't think this is going to sell out anytime soon because it's not an exclusive. Obviously retailers like Ray at Underground Figures already have this up for pre-order. I haven't checked. It seems like, Sean, one of the sites that you favor with Time Walker, we also have them on our website as well. They sell out very quickly. Like if you don't jump on some of these things like the day of, like you snooze, you lose at that site.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why I dopa stuff like this still is just because it's just a mental block of like not paying tax, shipping and all this stuff and saving the discount that you can get from a lot of these places right off the bat. It's, I know I could wait. I know this thing probably won't sell out until it comes out, but yeah, I'm just a fan of, supporting them and getting it the cheapest that I can. So yeah.
Gotta keep that BCC collection.
With the amount of figures that I buy, I need to save every penny. So yeah.
So I think this is going to be the thing that we'll watch is, do we get more? And I think after Star Wars fans watch the show, do they still clamor for these? But, I think the potential's there. I mean, they definitely were one of my favorite storylines of that season 7 there. And, D. Bradley Baker is, definitely going to earn his salary in this series. Talking to himself quite a bit. Wow. Yeah, this just looks phenomenal. I think this is definitely my reason for not pre-ordering this at this point isn't that I don't think it's good. I just don't know if I want to go down this. I mean, you keep seeing on the bottom all of these images here. You're seeing all of the the different members of Clone Force 99 here. I feel like if you get one, you got to get them all. So I guess I want to find out if I like it or not. But I mean, Echo is enough of a fan favorite that you could just get Echo. Mm-hmm. But this version of Echo, it isn't the one that if I was going to get one Echo, it wouldn't be the one that I would go for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to add to that, I mean, like I haven't watched the show, but, just watching the trailer and everything, I mean, there's totally potential for other characters that are being, that are main players in the show to get Hot Toys, figures. So it's not going to be just the team. It could be other figures in this line. So again, you got to pick your battles. It's another line to consider. Hot Toys Mando line is bringing so much heat. And then we got Clone Wars also, and now adding Bad Batch. And then just think of all the other projects coming down the line. So definitely pick your battles.
I mean, here's H. Green saying he'd buy all of them without even watch. I mean, they do look that good.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. All right. Still going. Actually, I forgot to mention all the stats on Echo 2. So that's going to retail for $285 at Sideshow. And we're looking at April to June next year. So it's still that April to June timeframe next year in 2022 is going to hurt a lot of wallets because there was already a lot of things that were going to release during that time frame. So, and I guess not really spoiler too much. I mean, I've seen in a lot of the trade articles and stuff like that saying that, especially people at Lucasfilm keep referring to this as season 1 of the Bad Batch. I think there's going to be more of it. I think this isn't just a one-time miniseries. I think they're going to see how long this can go, which is also enticing from a collecting perspective because it's not just a, Chris, it's not just a 13 or 16 episode season and then you never see these characters again.
Yeah, that's a kind of reassurance as a collector that you want to know. If there's a line that started, you hope that it continues. We all talk about, joking around, Hot Toys never finishes a line. You can just start listing off the movies and shows and stuff they haven't finished. But I think Hot Toys is learning, and it's easier for them to get more involved now. I mean, the Hot Toys community is bigger now than ever, and I think if they tease or suggest that a complete team or line will be, produced, I think they have a better shot at selling all the figures. I think that's what Hot Toys is. Hopefully they're adjusting to, not just making whatever figure they want.
TC, as the resident number one member of the Grogu fan club. This was, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not quite what I'm looking for. This is the little bugger we're looking for. This was a surprise. As a single release, I expected to get more Grogu figures, TC, with maybe the season 2 version of Mando. Another figure we'll look at a tease that we keep expecting to drop but hasn't, with the Mandalorian and Swoop Bike. But we've got Baby Yoda Grogu at a retail price of $145 at Sideshow. Again, looking January to March 2022. This is TMS 043. I mean,
this is nice.
This face says it all. I mean,
you get all these, all the
you get 3 of them, yeah.
3 Grogus. Yeah, this is it's a good value. Absolutely, for $145. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get this whenever it comes out. I'm probably gonna. It doesn't seem like it take up too much space, and you get the smiling Grogu, Scout Trooper version. Is that the Loth Cat?
Yep, it is the Loth Cat. Yep.
And the frog. Yep. Hey, this is good. I like this, and hopefully you get the attachment so you can kind of upgrade the one with the Beskar. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because doesn't he has this pram at the very end of season 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, this is the one that Quill makes for him.
So yeah, this is solid. I like this.
I mean, Chris, your girls saw
oh my God.
Baby Yoda all bundled up here.
Oh, you had me at swaddled Grogu. I showed them this morning. They're freaking out. They're like, we need it. We want Grogu in his little swaddle. And they go and get their Mattel, little Baby Yodas, and they're eating breakfast with them and stuff. But yeah, this is a must-have for me. I gotta have this little set. I love the little guy so much, and to get these extra accessories, I think it's a great combination of pieces to really switch up your displays and so you can do some photography, and you get a little case and everything. I mean, these are the types of things that really help with a display, and I love that stuff. And then I love Loth Cats. I think they're great, especially being a huge fan of Rebels, heavily featured in that series, and it was awesome to see them in quote unquote live action in the Mandalorian series. But that picture of Mando holding him and just looking into those big black eyes, I love it. I love it.
Now, Sean, I don't know if it was with this figure or if I think it's going to be the figure that we'll talk about just next, but Sean, it does look like they're using Hive Studios a lot more to do their sculpted things, because I mean, if you go back to Goose with Captain Marvel and just some other things, like this actually looks like a Loth Cat as opposed to when Goose looks like, I don't know what that was. It does seem like they know what they're good at and what they're not, and looking for help on these things that aren't. But I mean, for $145 here, I mean, it seems like a lot, but I mean, to get 3 Grogu figures, a basket, the pram here, a Loth Cat, and this little, as somebody was saying in the chat, like a little 3-cent plastic frog. But I mean, yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
this is what I pre-ordered, by the way. I got this down to, I think, $40 out of pocket at Sideshow with rewards and a bonus code I had.
Nice. Yeah. I also ordered this one as well. If it wasn't for the Pram maybe and that Lothcat, I might have waited it out. But yeah, just as a whole package, let's do it. I got this one as well. I'm going to end up with like 35 Grogus at the end of all this.
I
But,
know they're going to be all over the house.
Yeah.
You'll have Mandalorian figure accessories to go with your Grogus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I mean, it is. It's not like overly top. I just saw Joe in the chat was saying it looks like a Hasbro set. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that strong of a take here, but I mean, it is something that is a little out of the norm for Hot Toys. But I mean, if they can slap Grogu on something and sell it, they're going to, and people will buy this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could
printing money here.
You could buy this and then just part it out. Probably make $100 off the Pram and Grogu, and then keep parting it out and probably make, $50, $60 of just profit and then put it right back into another set and reduce your price. You could do that.
Yeah.
Get a really good deal on it. It's going to be desirable. And it might be a little bit like a Hasbro set, but how you can't really do much better than what they did. It's just very small figures.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a way to give people options.
Sean, talking about giving people options here. Never in a million years did I think they'd make a Blurrg. I mean, this showed up originally in what the Ewok Adventure special.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the first one. Caravan of Courage, I think it was.
Caravan of Courage.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, this is a deep cut. And this is the stuff that Favreau and Filoni live on. They're like, all right, we need Blurgs. They put him in Clone Wars, they put him in Rebels.
Yeah. And,
Sean, here we go. And I think this one is Sean from Hive Studios. So,
yeah.
Wow. Like, for $315, this is standalone, and we'll talk, as well. I've got the other photos here. We'll say the dreaded word, reissue. We knew that this wasn't the last time we were ever going to see season 1 of Mando, but to get him, you need to spend $555 to get him with a Blurrg. So I don't think it's going to do too much, Sean, to the secondary market of that first one, as much as everybody originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
So $555 for the set, $315 if you just want the Blurrg. We're looking again at that April to June timeframe here. I mean, I love this scene. Talk about setting the stage for the whole show and the series in chapter 1. When he's riding with Queel, and when he's like, you rode the mythosaur, your ancestors rode the mythosaur. I can't talk tonight, guys. Sorry. I mean, this looks great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm still undecided if I'll be adding it just due to the size. Like, I think it's almost 2 feet long. It's deceptively, it looks deceptively small, but it's 2 feet long, head to tail. So it's great. I would just have to figure out where I could put it if I did. So I'm going to wait on that one for a little bit. I think I say that now, but who knows? If they put out something that we'll probably tease later, but looks phenomenal, and you can't get enough creatures in the collection. So it's definitely a cool buy for sure. No idea they were going to do this.
No.
I mean, Chris, the Collector's Hut.
Yeah. Chris
Sultan. I mean, Blurgs and Blasters says they're, these guys have been the number one fans of Blurgs for the longest time. We were both, giving him shout out on Instagram today. But man, I know Bill, I saw Bill Dranowski out in the chat earlier too with Dork Lair, part of the Retro Zap network there. And I mean, obviously a couple of these photos of, what we've already seen of Mando and his season 1 armor, but yeah, this obviously it's essentially a statue.
Yeah.
You're not going to move this at all. I don't know if you can take it off the rock base. It might be, part of there. I would imagine without it being there could be some balancing issues, but man, after Sean said that it's deceptively long, it looks small.
Yeah.
But when you see him,
oh my God, when he's on it.
This right here, that
holy
shows
cow.
you Yeah, that shows you how much space this will not fit in a DTOF.
Man, it's kind of hard to. I mean, I'm looking at my Mando and I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, this was just. I could not believe we were gonna get this. I mean, they haven't even made it in 3 3/4 inch form. You know and to make it in 6 scale. And kudos to Hot Toys and Hive Studios for putting a set like this together. And I really like that you can get the Blurrg separate, and then you can get it with the 2-pack. That's a really smart move by Hot Toys to give people an option to get that OG Mando. But yeah, I think the detailing, the paintwork, everything is on point with this creature. To say we're getting a creature in Hot Toys 6 scale form is really something else. So yeah, this is
not an easy creature to really make either. So Hive Studios is the one that's going to produce this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very unexpected. I mean, how many are they going to make of this? I mean, it seems like a pretty difficult thing to do, but I guess if another studio is making it, it's probably, if that's the main thing they're focusing on, they can probably put good attention to detail and get some good economies of scale with the production. But yeah, it looks great. I mean, this is kind of what has been missing with Hot Toys, in their Star Wars line. They have every single Stormtrooper that you could want. They've got villains, they've got heroes, they've got everything in between, except they don't have the creatures.
Yeah,
it's just a very cool thing to see, and it's kind of like the essence of the Mandalorian. It's like one of the first things you see, and it's it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I think between the little set with Grogu, adding the extra creatures into the mix, and then getting something like this, I always say it, like it opens the door for stuff down the line, because you never know what you get. I just think if it's successful, then potentially Hot Toys will start looking at other creatures, dewbacks and tauntauns and wampas and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I think this is great. Not one. I mean, I think it's awesome. I love it. Again, I would really have to make sure I knew my display space would handle a creature like this. But yeah, that is just crazy how big that thing is.
I mean,
like how far he is off the ground.
Sean, you're mentioning the lengthwise being about 2 feet. What did it say how tall Mando is on top of this?
I think it's 30 centimeters tall. So that's like, hold on. Let me pull out my math here. 30 divided by
14 inches.
Yeah, about 14 inches or so tall. And then put Mando on top of that. So it's another 6, say if he's sitting down 6 inches. So 20 inches tall. Also almost 2 feet tall, almost 2 feet long. Fully kitted up is going to be 40,
and the thing it stinks is like Module Case owners 6 scale size. I don't think it would fit. I don't think it, especially with the base on there. I don't think you'd fit him on there, which stinks because so much of us have spent so much money on making these awesome display cabinets, and unless you go for the the DF size of the Module Case, you're probably not going to get this to fit.
Yeah, this is something that screams being in open air to me. Yeah. Or again, one of the options a lot of people do is, if you have a nice glass coffee table in the center of your room or something, if there's enough room underneath it to have a whole Mando scene. But this is definitely, to fit it in a case, you've got to either have custom setup, or like Bryan said, like the big deal Module Cases. So I mean, again, definitely consider something like that before you order this set, because you don't want to. I worry about having stuff in open air because my kids come down here and they want to mess with everything. So
Michael's saying he'd fit it on top of a DTOF. Don't want to put on top of me.
Hey, do what you got to do, right? You know?
Here's one. The Rancor. I think Sideshow already tried doing that in statue form, so that would be very difficult to put into true 6 scale. Whew, man, the hits just keep coming here with a lot of this stuff. So, not to be outdone, and I don't think I've got this in the correct order in terms of the the photos here, but we'll just talk about each of these teasers as they come up on screen here. Sideshow getting back into making Star Wars figures, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. People originally thought that this was Hot Toys. This is definitely not Hot Toys. It definitely has the Clone Wars cartoon style to the face sculpt. Guys, why on earth did they not do this, when they had the license? Instead of trying to be Hot Toys and not even close, they could have just easily done this, and people would have ate this up. It would have gone perfectly with the Sideshow clones that they have done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we question a lot of things that Sideshow does, but no, I'm right there with you. This is the route that they should have gone. Instead of doing a Luke Jedi and the similar figures to Hot Toys, find a niche and fill in the gaps. And I wouldn't say that this figure is perfect, but I really like the direction with it, the animated style, thinner look. You've got that classic Clone Wars and Obi-Wan, style. But I like this direction. Definitely.
It was next to it. So, and again, the Anakin look here.
Yep.
This looks more pronounced. This is more iconic look, at least to me. And I think for a lot of fans, I mean, this is the Anakin that people love. I think going back, you can appreciate Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith Anakin a lot more, but it's Matt Lanter's Anakin in the Clone Wars that really gave this character a lot of depth.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was late to the Clone Wars party. I didn't watch it until the pandemic started, when I had time to just sit down and watch it all. And so, definitely Anakin in the prequel trilogy. Definitely, he went from 0 to 60 like super duper quick. So seeing this whole backstory of how he, his descent and all this stuff has really made me like the character a lot more. So I'm glad that they're finally tackling the animated series version of him, because that's definitely the, my favorite Anakin right now, at least.
Yeah, the one thing about these two figures is if you've been a Clone Wars figure collector, I mean, these two figures look near identical to their original Clone Wars 3 3/4 inch figures, which is, I think, that in itself, it's like almost a nostalgia for the original Clone Wars figures now in 1/6 form. And I think that's a great aspect to these figures too. And like some of the chat is talking about, do we get an Ahsoka to round out these the 3 Jedi? We'll see, and we'll see how deep this line goes, because I mean I can see this being pretty successful. We don't know what the price points are going to be if Sideshow keeps it somewhat in check as far as price. I can see a lot of people picking these up.
Yeah, I mean, I love Clone Wars, but these, and I'm sure TC will probably agree with me, these are clear passes. And I mean, especially if they are the same standard of figures that we've got in the past from Sideshow with, floppy bodies underneath that don't hold poses, that just want to topple over.
Yeah, you hope that's not the case. I really like the Anakin. I think the Anakin is the sculpt's really good, and they get that animated look pretty spot on. So I know a lot of people want this figure, and Obi-Wan's is probably 7 to 8 out of 10 to me, but the Anakin's at 8 to 9 out of 10. And I think if I'd have one Anakin, I like this version better than what Hot Toys is giving us. I don't like the realistic look for the animated figure. I know that's what Hot Toys does, but it doesn't fit the character to me. So like this would be, I would choose this figure in my Clone Wars
to go with the
collection.
Clone Wars Ahsoka.
Right. Even because the Clone Wars Ahsoka is like a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's like an interpretation. It's
Yeah.
not really, it's kind of in the middle between animated and realistic. So this will go well with
It's
that.
it's got the human style face as opposed to the more exaggerated facial features.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Queel,
man.
star of the show. Everybody wants a Queel figure. Man, if you could swing it, if you could spend $555 to get the Mando,
2
and the
blurgs.
Yeah.
or if you just get 2 blurgs, if you've already got season 1 Mando, like a lot of us do, and then whatever price point Queel's going to be. I mean, he's about Yoda sized, a little bit taller, so probably 200, 210, give or take a little bit there. This just looks fantastic. I mean, whoever thought that they'd want an Ugnaught in their collection, but I mean, this is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and obviously with some of the most iconic lines. I mean, how often were we saying I've spoken? It's this is I hope they do this. I hope this is just not a tease, but with what they're already given us for the Mandalorian, they this seems like it's a no-brainer for them to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I think this is coming. The fact you get the blurg, you can buy the blurg by itself.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a tip that they're going to release this one. Plus the picture is pretty crystal clear. It's prototypes made. I don't think they're spending the time making a prototype of this figure if they're not going to release it.
Mm-hmm.
I need some Dogecoin.
I know, right?
We love
anybody want to pass in Dogecoin? Yeah. Oh man, like the sculpting on this figure. I mean, it's dead on. It looks exactly like he does in the show. I love the different styles of material being used here with the scarf and overcoat and everything. The gloves. I just love all those little details. The belt buckle. I mean, come on. This is going to be great, and I think it. Hopefully it's at a decent price point for the size of the figure. Who knows? It might come with a bunch of cool accessories, tools, and other sorts of things. But yeah, they're going. I mean, Hot Toys is doing. There might be one particular figure that they're not going to do, but the rest of the team, the rest of the line, I mean, it's all in.
Yeah, 100%. I like it. I'll definitely be getting it whenever it goes up. He's required piece to the collection in my mind. So he's looks great, and yeah, can't wait.
Hunter. We just saw him with the prototype images for Echo. I guess for me, this does look really cool. I think for me, my biggest question I've got for these figures is do I think that they're going to release them all eventually? Are they going to drag this out? Or are we going to get, if they're going to do this, is it going to be over the course of, the 13 or so weeks that they're going to give us all these episodes? I don't know if I haven't looked at the schedule to see if they're going to double up in any weeks or what the release schedule is. I mean, we got one here Tuesday. I don't know if that means we'll get one here Friday and every Friday afterwards, but I would imagine they'll hold our interest. And if they are going to release all of these, I think before I'd even order any of these, I'd want to know that they're all going to be made. So then I can make the decision, behind me here, do I want a whole shelf of the Bad Batch? Because I think if there's only 2 out of the 5, I don't think that becomes as enticing. I mean, as cool as they do look, to me, they're, it's kind of like the Avengers. They're better as an ensemble than they are individually.
Yeah. What would be kind of cool is, so you've got 2, Echo and Hunter as, the 2 separate releases. Then you do a 2-pack with the other 2 and then have Wrecker as like a deluxe figure. I think that would be pretty cool.
I love
together.
Wrecker is awesome.
Yeah.
My son, we watch. He hasn't watched all the Clone Wars with me, but he loves Wrecker too. He likes the fact that he doesn't, as he would say. He told me at dinner today, he was talking about some Transformers, and one of his Transformers was a melee guy, and I knew what it meant, but I asked him. I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" He goes, "That means he doesn't use a gun; he just fights with his fists." So that's Wrecker. And even Hunter uses a knife, so it's pretty cool to see them take on battle droids here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see as the season progresses, and if it's well received, we'll see more.
Oh, it will be well received.
Oh yeah. And the figure that we've seen, I feel like since the beginning of this year, it's been on display and off display. And why don't they just announce this thing already? We've seen season 2 Mando with his different thigh pad, and we've seen him with his Beskar staff. We've seen him with a swoop bike here. Just release him. There's somebody out there that just throws mud against the wall and sees what sticks about like all these figures that they're going to release. But somebody had the audacity to say that they were going to do a 2-pack with Din Djarin and Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian as a 2-pack, just because they had done Batman and Superman as together one. Like, no, that's not going to happen. I mean, I would imagine, if I were to guess, this is something that they'll probably announce this week. If you see it on screen here, it might be hard to see, but this is May the 4th be with you fan week from Sideshow. They've been dropping reward codes like crazy. Today's the 4th. They're going to have this again tomorrow. I would imagine they want to save something for tomorrow to keep people tuned in. I mean, this to me makes sense, Sean, that they drop this tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm about to call the cops if they don't put this up for pre-order like soon, because I mean, literally the whole season's done. We know what it's about. Like, you got to imagine they're waiting for the head sculpt or something. That's why this is taking so long. But I don't know why this is taking so long. But yeah, I agree. This would be the kind of heavy hitter to close up the show, hopefully, unless they have more Bad Batch figures. But I would imagine this would go up some point this week. I hope. Or I'm calling the cops.
I mean, Chris, this was on screen for a little bit in chapter 9 and briefly in chapter 10 before it gets completely wrecked. Spoiler alert. But I don't know. Like, if I think about it, Chris, and if I'm going to want a season 2 Mandalorian, I do love the look when he comes into that town. It's the, it's got that Western vibe to it. I like Cobb Vanth. I mean, that was a cool little storyline, but again, I'm looking at my Magic cases here, and this thing's going to be as big as the Blurrg is, lengthwise at least. Is it worth committing to this? And if you're going to have this figure, do you want him essentially tied down and sat down on a swoop bike, a speeder bike here, or would you want him in another scene? Or do you go from take a page from the BCC and go for both?
Oh, man,
that's what I was gonna say. That's why you buy 2, and then you have both displays.
Yeah, I mean, this is I love the speeder bike look and everything. Does it play an integral part of the show? Not really, but I just think the fact that Hot Toys has given us more vehicles is a good sign. They've given us that option. It's a really cool set, from what, we've seen of it. And if they do give us a head sculpt, I mean, that really puts this set over the top. Oh, man, it would be a tough call. I would have to see what is exclusive to the set, and make my decision at that point, if it's worth going for it. But if I had the room, I would definitely, if I knew I had the room, I would get the set for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's going to be very expensive to get this set. And then you have Blurrgs on the horizon, and you've got the newly released speeder bike of the Scout Trooper. So, I mean, there's some high dollar pieces when you're talking about the Mandalorian line. It's great that they're doing this because it's easily the most complete Star Wars line that they've released to date. But it's tough. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not tough to get this. It's going to be $400 or $500 for this. I mean, the bike is more detailed than the Scout bike.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to require more engineering. It's
very different.
It's different. It looks a little bigger. It's I don't know. It is expensive, and that's what you have to really look at. It's going to be a money commitment, and you could easily get away with just having the Beskar version from season 1 or the single version from season 2, like Bryan's saying. Mm-hmm. If you want to do that, I think you'd be okay, because it doesn't play a central role, but it is kind of like, it's not a central role into the series, but it does have several scenes, and it's just super cool.
Yeah.
So that's the dilemma you face.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
it does look just awesome.
Galore. Yeah.
I keep replaying that scene with him, rolling into town, low rider. Man, it's so tough. I mean, and the thing, and we talk about this in moderation. And TC, you mentioned this like all the time. Hot Toys just doesn't misstep that much. You can't base purchases and stuff on if something's going to turn out well, because for the most part, 99 out of 100 times they knock it out of the park, unless you get like the smiling Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
It's
hey now.
Hey, I got him right up here. You can't see him, but
No, they always do well. It's not even, you can nitpick all day.
Yeah.
And it's not like we are fanboys of them, but
yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and say it's not good, because that's not true. There's nothing close to that on the market. No one else is making vehicles like them. And so it just comes down to whether or not you want to put in the 500, because if you keep doing that, 500,000, 1,500, 2,000, you just have to be aware of what you're doing and kind of think longer term, because they're not done with the line. If you think Ahsoka's had her last figure released, I think you're mistaken. I think there are more Ahsokas on the way. Mm-hmm. There are more clones on the way. So just be aware.
Yeah. Picking up those sets, huge commitment financially, space commitments. But it's the tempt. I mean, Hot Toys knows how to tempt you. And they're getting even better at it now, because they're coming in from all different avenues, especially in the Star Wars arena.
Well, look at that, guys. An hour and a half in, and we had the double news show here. So
I know.
Oh man, it is. I think it's time to wrap things up here. We can keep going on and on and on. I'm sure we're going to see more goodness. I think it makes sense now that, for the most part, Hot Toys had been pretty quiet on the Star Wars front. They were saving up for this, and I don't mind. I did, want to pull my whatever little hair I have left on my head right now, trying to update 5 pages on our website for all this stuff today. But
man,
got it done, and all the links are up there, except for Pop Culture. You're the worst, and you take like 3 days before you actually put something up for pre-order. So
yeah.
But we have so many international people, and a lot of people do get from Pop Culture. So we try to make sure to give those resources to people so that they can find those best deals. Like Sean was saying earlier, at a place like Time Walker, you save a little money off a Sideshow, less shipping, little to no taxes, and it's great. So we do have our website, sixscalescavengers.com, where you find the database and checklists. We have our TeePublic store, and unbeknownst to me, this whole time, people could be getting stickers and magnets and face masks and stuff out there. It's pretty cool. So go check out all those designs from Roy. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The audio podcast is on Apple Podcast, Amazon Amazon Music, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and sixscalescavengers.libsyn.com. You can tell I'm getting tired here. And obviously, I couldn't be with us tonight, but we'll get Scott on again in an episode soon. Subscribe to Scott with the Parker Files on YouTube, doing some great reviews out there. And as soon as Marvel's got some new figures out there, Scott is going to be covering those, and he's working on a top secret project that has a lot of people have been asking for, and I know he'll be releasing that and some details upon that soon. So, whew. All right, guys. Sean, thanks again for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to get your your point of view on here. We've been trying to coordinate for a while, and I know you've been making a bunch of appearances on Collecting Weekly and some of their shows and stuff, and it's always great to get one of the moderators on here.
Plus someone's got to be buying figures in here, so anytime you guys just sell everything, just have me on and I'll just list off everything that I've bought, and then we'll balance it out. Yeah,
I know we definitely need some balance.
Ain't that the truth? So all right, any other closing thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I mean, just see what happens tomorrow. If there's anything else, the tease figures, if we get full releases for those, and maybe some other stuff hinted at for the future. But yeah, I mean, it was a crazy day, not just Hot Toys wise. Everything that sold Star Wars, every company was just dropping stuff left and right. I mean, there was prints dropping at midnight last night. Pacific time. So it was like 3 a.m. Eastern time. I know people were just scrambling, but all day it was Star Wars. It was a great time. And I think the Star Wars community is just, I mean, it's growing. It's so strong, and it's great to see so many people involved in it.
Yeah, lots of stuff dropping. And I do have one bone to pick with people. When Mondo releases their prints, they sell it immediately. Today, the Star Wars has sold out immediately. Anything that's not timed. I look on eBay, and the prints sell for like 100 on Mondo, or like $80. Then they list them for 200. Is the $100 that important where you got to immediately flip? It's not like you're selling it for 500. So all this is a hassle for people who want the prints to then spend the extra 100. Just let it go.
I know, they're getting very annoying. Fees and everything. Like,
they're gonna make like $10 profit.
If it's $1,000 and people are buying it, then okay. I mean, look, I don't like it, but at least I can understand why you would do it. But I mean, to put $100 profit on something like that and steal basically the pictures that people want for their house, come on. Anyway,
seriously.
One negative thing, but awesome stuff out there today.
Yeah. I tried to get those prints today too, and they all sold out into my cart.
Brutal.
So yeah, and it was like 3 seconds after it went up. So
stupid.
Yeah,
bots. All right, before we go, I do have one question for Chris, and you know where I'm going with this, I think.
Uh-oh.
Are you purchasing the Ahsoka cost, baby? And how many of you already ordered?
I already got 2 on order.
All right, where would one buy one of those? Because I'm just curious.
Disney Parks. Shop Disney. I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, and of course, so this morning I show my girls that image of all the cos babies, and my daughter Alice is like, I want the one with the cookie, and my other daughter Cece, she's like, I want the Luke Skywalker set, and I'm like,
that was a mistake showing them.
I know, and I'm like, so then I go on Shop Disney, and they've got the Luke set, they've got the Ahsoka, no Grogu with a cookie. So people, help me out. Where
Toys
do I
get you'll have to hit up Toys Wonderland or something.
Oh my god,
dude, that's like throwing money away. Those cause babies, you can't do anything with them. They break.
I know. They're
basically tossing them in the
Christmas
trash.
presents. So stocking stuffers. There you go. Nice. Brian's got one.
It was only within reach because I'm still it looks like I'm organized behind here, but actually only today I put some things in my shelf. So, obviously need to taunt Elvis here with that one shelf. But I thought in camera my Mando figures and Heavy Mando would show up, but apparently that fourth shelf isn't in camera. So I've got both Mandos and Heavy Mando on that fourth shelf there, and nothing on the bottom. So I've just been so busy with things. I got to get organized. So anyways, we're just rambling at this point. I had to ask Chris about that. And again, thank you guys. Thank you, Scavengers, for tuning in. I know that there's probably a lot of options to pick from this evening on Star Wars Day. So we thank you for spending some time with us, Sean, thanks for joining us. And I think the guys at Collecting Weekly are still going live on Tuesdays, their normal night. So if they are, make sure you hop on over to their show, tune in what they're going to say, and tell them the Scavengers said hi. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it. So, Chris, my friend, as I'm stalling like normal, bring us home.
May the 4th be with you, and Excelsior.
Ooh.